Not much is classier than smoking a cigar while wearing a suit. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is an indie review, and it's for Prota's mixtape, Hubrisobriety. Now, Prota is an artist out of Tuskegee, Alabama, so to check out his full bio, his music, his sites, his links, etc., just take a look at that info box that's underneath this video. Now, this one all starts off with the title track, where Prota brings up how some people have been questioning the skill level of the XXL freshman from 2015, and he also spits how he'll kill all of his doubters off like Gwen Stacy, which I thought was a pretty dope line. And if you don't know what that's a reference to, it's when Spider-Man killed Gwen Stacy by mistake. And you're going to get some other pop culture references on here as well, like on Pro Legacy, where he says he's in his lab like Dexter, and hoping that all of his haters crash like Caroline, which is a reference to Outkast's song Roses. So both of these songs were pretty dope. They did have some good production as well. I really liked the strings on Pro Legacy, and there was some nice vocal and piano production on the title track. But one issue I noticed, not just on these songs, but throughout this mixtape, is that the echo effect on his voice is a little bit too much sometimes, and that can definitely be distracting, especially when the beat drops out and if you're listening in headphones. It was just a little bit too much, and I think the echoey vocals could be toned down. But some of Prota's most memorable moments come when he's delivering social commentary or telling a little bit of his story. Like on the song Free Fall, where he once again comes through with some pop culture references. This time he's talking about the Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Jojo, and Fuzzy Lumpkins, so it kind of started off a little bit funny, but then he gets serious and he talks about how he hit a point in his life where he hit the age of rebellion and decided to become a thug, and he also wanted to get some revenge on the man that used to beat on his mother. So through this song here, he really provides some real moments, and that's something that sticks out on this project because you're getting to know a little bit about who Prota is. And he does that once again on the song Why Part 3, which is a nice dedication to the woman who he loves because she accepts him for all of his insecurities and even for his past when he was just pimping and out here messing with all kinds of girls. And he even represents where I'm from when he says that he's colder than Nova Scotia. And every time we are mentioned, it's because of how cold it is here. But you know what? It gets hot as hell here in the summer. Look it up, I guarantee. Now, there's also the song Long Way, where we get a unique reggae vibe, and he's singing about how his mom had to work extra hard as a single mother to provide for her babies. And then we get into some of the social commentary that I was talking about. On the song Nigga SAE, he asks, are you racist or is it your family tree? Which I thought was a cool way of addressing that generational racism that is passed down. And on Black America, he looks at how some people view violence and murders differently depending on the races involved. So that was thought-provoking as well, because we see how the media paints certain issues and how certain people only care when it's this person killing this person or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of issues there. It's very complicated. I'm not going to get into it too much, but he does get you thinking about that when he's spitting about it on that song. So that was pretty dope. But there are quite a few tracks on here that are forgettable, and it's not that these tracks are trash, there's just nothing to them that really makes them stick out. For example, the songs Death Threat, Hate on P, and Pro Way are pretty basic songs that are just addressing the haters, the doubters, and the competition. And then with OG Prota, it starts off as a banger, and then for the second half, it turns over to what is basically just a sped up remix of Bryson Tiller's song Don't. So I thought that track was kind of weird the way it switched up, and this was a song that wasn't one of my favorites. And speaking of remixes, the song Dese is basically just a remix of an old Party Next Door song. And on this version, Prota is just spitting about how he'll eat a girl out until there's a drought, until she spouts, so it's just pretty basic lyricism, and that was actually one of my least favorite songs. But overall, I think this mixtape does a pretty good job of showcasing Prota's versatility. But at 17 tracks in length, this one really did drag on quite a bit, and like I said, there are a lot of filler tracks here. There wasn't really anything here that I thought was all out awful, but I think if he condensed this project a little bit, it would have been much better. But that's just my opinion, and I give this one a 3 out of 5. But that's just what I thought about this one. You guys can check it out for yourself. There's all kinds of links down there, and make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, man, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.